Die, dienu, die, dienu, die, dienu, 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 die, dienu, die, dienu, die, dienu, dienu, dienu. Chag Sameach, and welcome to our in-person Community Seder. We're very excited to be back in person after a couple of years on Zoom. We're going to start our Seder tonight with the opening prayer. If you've got one of these supplementary sheets, these handouts near the entrance, you can find many of these prayers on that sheet. Tonight, we gather around the Seder table to recount our people's miraculous journey from slavery to freedom. For 3,000 years, each generation has taught this story to the next, using symbolic foods, festive songs, and thoughtful questions. Our sacred textbook tonight, the Haggadah, teaches us that the ultimate purpose of the Seder is for each individual in every generation to feel as if they had personally gone out of Egypt. As we eat, sing, and ask questions tonight, we are reminded of the ultimate question of Passover. What will we do with these memories of slavery? Will we shrug them off with indifference? Will we use them to fuel our anger over injustices? Or will we use them to develop empathy for others? As free people, the choice is ours. It is up to us, the next generation, to decide. So now, if you find your Haggadah on your table, we'll start on page 1 with Open Your Senses. So I'll read the main part and then read each of the subsections together. Okay? The Passover Seder goes beyond words to open your senses. See the sights of Passover.
See your family and friends gather together. See your children find the Afikomen. Open your eyes and welcome the season of spring.
Hear the sounds of Passover.
Hear the singing of your children and your parents. Hear the breaking of the matzah. Hear your children asking questions. Listen to our history retold generation to generation.
Taste the flavors of Passover.
Taste the bitter herbs and sweet charoset. Taste the bread of our forefathers. Taste the tears and joy of our ancestors. Savor the flavors of your traditional Passover dinner.
Smell the scents of Passover.
Smell the matzah ball soup. Smell the gefilte fish and sweet wine. Smell the new blossoms of spring. Inhale the smells that fill your home tonight.
Feel the wonder of Passover.
Feel the warmth of the candles glowing. Feel the tradition of family. Feel the love of God holding your child's hand. And feel the joy and blessing of your freedom. How lucky we are.
So tonight we're also going to add another sense, a little sense of humor. We're going to have some games and skits. If anyone wants to volunteer, there'll be a few points in the service to do that. We also need volunteers who are just comfortable reading parts of the Passover story from our Haggadah. And I'll let you know when those moments are. Jack, you want to wave? Jack is going to help bring the microphone around when we're having everyone participate in the reading later. And we'll start ushering in holidays as we traditionally do with lighting candles. And we had a special request earlier. While it's traditional to do a memorial prayer called Yizkor, the end of Passover, we'll just light a candle tonight in honor and memory of loved ones who we wish could be sitting next to us tonight. And now I'd like to invite up our new Avodah co-chairs, Jeff Haken and Isabel Paul, to light our holiday candles. And you can find the reading that we'll be doing together for the candle lighting on the first page of the supplementary sheet.
May the light of the candles we kindle together tonight bring radiance to all who live in darkness. May this season, marking the deliverance of our people from Pharaoh, rouse us against anyone who keeps others in servitude. In gratitude for the freedom we enjoy, may we strive to bring about the liberation of all people everywhere. Lighting these candles, we create the sacred space of the Festival of Freedom. We sanctify the coming together of our community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov.
Thank you so much, Isabel and Jeff. So now, if you are blessed to be sitting near a child, whether that's your child or if you just want to bless a friend or a new friend sitting near you, we'll continue with the blessing for children on page 3. And if you'd like, you can put your hands on their head. And we pray that God makes them like the exemplary figures from the Torah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and guard you. May God's face shine light upon you and be kind to you. And may God face you and give you peace. As we continue with Miriam's cup, if you see a little glass of water, so later in the Seder we have a glass of wine for Elijah, but Miriam, the sister of Moses, a main figure in our Passover story, was known to have a well that nourished and hydrated her community through the wilderness. The women of all generations at the Seder table are invited to fill more water if you have any water on your table. And we'll hold the glass. One person can hold the little cup. Zot kos Miriam, kos Maim Chayim, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim. This is the cup of Miriam, the cup of living waters, a reminder of our exodus from Egypt. And now we'll need some volunteers to read about the symbols of Passover. So Jack, if you can help us with the microphone. So we're on page 5. Is there anyone who would like to read about the matzah? So don't be shy. All right, Jack will read the first thing about the matzah. 3 matzot.
Okay. Matzah. 3 matzot remind us that there are 3 kinds of people. Those who are not yet free, those who don't care about freedom of others, and those who are free and help others become free.
Okay, and who'd like to read about the meaning of the charoset? 3. All right, Ed.
Charosis, a mixture of nuts, apples, wine, reminds us of the clay of our ancestors used to make bricks for the Pharaoh in Egypt.
And the maror, the bitter herbs. Got some volunteers behind you, Jack.
Mara, bitter herbs. Bitter herbs such as horseradish root remind us of the bitterness of slavery in Egypt.
And karpas, the greens. We'll keep passing it around. And maybe for time's sake, so we can eat dinner before it gets too late, we'll just keep passing it around the table.
Parsley, karpas, greens. Parsley reminds us of spring, when new life brings a feeling of hope.
An egg. Someone else at the same table?
Beitza, roasted egg. The egg symbolizes both the festival of sacrifice and the hope for a fresh start in life.
May Melech, salt water. The salt water reminds us of the sad and bitter tears shed by our people in slavery, as well as the tears for those who are still not free today.
Kos Shel Eliyahu, we set aside a special cup filled with wine for the prophet Elijah, who will visit us during the Seder. The rabbis of long ago taught that Elijah will come and announce a time when there will be peace in our world.
Wonderful, thank you. So the rabbis of the Talmud say, "V'chom hamarbeh lesaper b'tziat Mitzrayim harei ze meshubach," which means the more you extend your Seder and elaborate on the Exodus from Egypt, the more praiseworthy. We are going to try to wrap this up by 7 p.m., but we are going to extend things a little bit beyond just the tradition with some interactive skits and games. So I'd like 5 volunteers who are willing to read a script. It is based off of the dating game. We have a bachelorette and 3 bachelors and a host. It doesn't matter what your gender is. You can play any of these characters. So anyone willing to read a skit? So we've got David. Yep, come on up. We need 4 more volunteers. The faster you volunteer, the sooner we get to eat. Yeah, come on up. 2 more volunteers. All right, come on up, Joel. Okay. Rachel will be the host unless we have another volunteer. So stand in front here. Do you want to be the bachelorette? All right. Do you want to be the host? Yeah, I'm going to be the host. Oops, okay. Bachelor number 3.
Okay. All right, I'm not sure. Did you give out a script?
We've got 1 and 2, so you can pick who's who.
Okay. All right. Want me to start?
Yeah.
All right.
And so past this, so are our bachelors in order? 1, 2, 3?
All right. We ready?
Oh, and who's the host? Oh,
Me.
you're
I'm
the host.
gonna host.
Okay.
That's what I do. All right, we're ready? Okay. Welcome to the dating game, Passover edition, where our lucky bachelorette will have the chance to find love on her way out of Egypt. Due to inflation, we couldn't afford to fly in the original Bachelors for tonight's show, but the network is telling us to make do with whatever we can find, and I thought, hey, I have a few leftover items from last night's Seder plate. Don't these stars of Passover deserve some love? Plus now we can add a little fun twist to our dating game. Let's see if you all can guess which Seder plate item each bachelor is before the bachelorette figures it out. So it's important to pay attention. All right, bachelorette, it's time to interview some potential love interests. You can ask each bachelor exactly 1 question to determine your compatibility before choosing who you want to take on a date. What do you want to know about each of them?
Are there other choices?
Nope.
Wrong question. Bachelor number 1. If I were to ask your friends about you, how would they describe you?
Oh, and give them the microphone.
I think they would say that I'm sweet and a little nutty. I can get into some sticky situations sometimes, but I always hold together.
What Seder plate item do you think bachelor number 1 is? Shout it out. That's right, charoset. And how do you feel about charoset, bachelorette?
Well, he sounds like a sweet guy. I'm allergic to nuts. Sorry, next. Bachelor number 2. Don't get fresh. Don't get fresh.
This is a family show.
Wait till first base. If I were to ask you, your exes, about you, what would be the most positive and the most negative things they would say about you?
Well, they would say.
Oh, pass the mic so he can.
I don't need a mic. They would say that I definitely have added some spice to their lives. I guess they might also say that I can be bitter and make some people cry. Some just find me too hot to handle.
So, what Seder plate item is bachelorette number 2? That's right. It was Maror. How do you feel about that, Bachelorette?
Ooh, I cried enough over my ex. Just thought of dating another person that leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Fair enough. No offense, Maror.
None taken. Oh.
That's okay. It's okay.
Bachelor number 2.
Yeah.
None taken.
Right. Not taken. I know I'm not everyone's type.
What, are you pica or elite? Bachelor number 3. I'm looking for a well-rounded partner. You know what I mean. Who wants to start something new and exciting. Are you on the same page?
Definitely. I am well-rounded, or at least I'm kind of oval. I'm all about new beginnings, and I'm up for all kinds of exciting adventures.
What Seder plate item is bachelor number 3? That's right. How do you feel about the egg, Bachelorette?
He sounds like an excellent choice. I'm excited to get to know him. Anything less corny than this?
This is low budget.
I'm excited to get to know him better on our first date.
I'm excited to hear that.
Well, you have it here, folks. Looks like we've made some meaningful connections. Next week, we'll have to have the 2 report back and let us know if this love thing is all it's cracked up to be.
Come on, baby.
Thank you to our skit performers. So now if you can fill your wine glass for our first cup of wine or grape juice. Does everyone have some wine or grape juice in your cup? And as you pour, we'll do the reading on the bottom of page 1 of our handout. Tonight we drink 4 cups of wine. Why 4? A traditional explanation is that the cups represent the 4 promises of liberation that God makes in the Torah. First, I will bring you out. Second, I will deliver you. Third, I will redeem you. And fourth, I will take you to be my people. These 4 promises can also be interpreted as 4 stages on the path to liberation. First, becoming aware of oppression. Second, condemning oppression as morally wrong. Third, imagining alternatives. And fourth, accepting responsibility to take action. So now we'll hold our glass in the air. And we'll do the short version. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Now we turn to page 8. If you can find the parsley on your Seder plate. Now it is time to remember that it was springtime when the Passover story took place. As we dip our greens in salt water, we remember the tears of our ancestors in the land of Egypt. So everyone dip your parsley in salt water. And then we'll say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adamah. And take a bite. Now we're on the top of page 9. Yachatz, breaking the middle matzah. So we take the middle of the 3 matzot and break it into 2 pieces. The smaller piece is replaced between the 2 other matzot. The larger piece is wrapped in a napkin and set aside later to be the afikomen. And if someone from the table can at some point hide your afikomen, we'll have the kids look for it later. And we do have some prizes for finding the afikomen. Okay. And while we are talking about matzah, we could use a few more volunteers. If anyone has ever watched the show Whose Line Is It Anyway or seen other improv performances, there's a game called Props where you take an object and you use it in different ways. So we have different shapes of matzah. We could have a few volunteers come up here. If you think you have a creative use for matzah besides just eating it as matzah, come on up. So you could use at least 4, maybe 6 volunteers. Come on up. Kids are welcome too. Be silly. It's fun. So, for example, I'm just going to pretend this matzah is a steering wheel, right? Beep, 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 mad in traffic, okay? So you can use the matzah to be anything you want. Ready? Let's see if we can guess what they're acting out.
You might want to show them so they can see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's hard to see. Can you tell what she's doing? What could that matzah be functioning as? Like a cafeteria tray? Is that accurate? All right, good guess. All right, let's see what else we can do with matzah. So many purposes if we have leftover after Passover. And think about it before you get to your turn in line if you can. What else could matzah be? All right. What do you think he's got?
A square. It's a square. That's it.
Oh, you got it.
I was flipping text pages.
Very good. All right, let's keep it coming. What else could we do with matzah?
Make sure to show them. Show the people. Show the other. This one.
All right.
Oh, a paper.
Piece of paper. Excellent. Good job, Caleb. All right, what else could we do with matzah? Wow, that's good. Video game. And there are other shapes. You don't have to just do a square matzah. Congratulations. Matzah, matzah on the wall. All right, any other suggestions? All right, let's give a round of applause to everyone who volunteered. And now we'll get to the core of the Passover Seder, which is sharing the story. That's where this whole ritual comes from. The Torah says to share the story with the next generation. One point, your children are going to ask you, what is this Exodus thing? You hear a little bit about it, but it's important that we all get a chance to really hear the story in detail. So we're going to need some volunteers to help us share this story, and the story part is called the Magid. So first, actually, we'll do the 4 questions, and then we'll tell the story. So it's better to start with questions and then provide the answers than to give answers to questions that people don't have. So page 10, the 4 questions, and if you're the youngest in the room or at your table or just feel young at heart, please join us. Page 10. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol haleilot mikol haleilot shebechol haleilot anu ochlin chametz umatzah chametz umatzah halayla hazeh kulo matzah halayla hazeh kulo matzah shebechol haleilot anu ochlin she'ar yirakot she'ar yirakot halayla hazeh maror maror halayla hazeh maror maror shebechol haleilot ein anu matbilin afilu pa'am echad afilu pa'am echad halayla hazeh shetei ve'amim halayla hazeh shetei ve'amim shebechol haleilot anu ochlin ben yoshvinu vein misubin ben yoshvinu vein misubin halayla hazeh kulanu misubin halayla hazeh kulanu misubin. And now we need some volunteers under age 13. Do we have anyone at the green table who might want to help us read the 4 questions in English? Jack, do you want to start us off?
Maybe all of them or just the first?
Just the first one. So why is this night?
Why is this night different from all other nights?
Keep going, one more.
On all other nights, we can eat either leavened bread or matzah, but tonight, only matzah.
Great job. Caleb, would you like to read? All right. Yeah, you can bring it to Caleb, and we'll pass it around the room. Okay. Or kids can be on stage. That works too.
On all other nights, we eat all kinds of vegetables, but tonight we also eat bitter herbs.
Very good. British pronunciation. And question 3. Oh, yeah, come on up. Yeah.
On all other nights, we dip on
food.
She's doing a great job. She's got an assistant here. Keep going. You're great. It's hard to read while being pet. Yeah.
Lily, stop it!
It's okay. You got this.
Okay. And other, but Lily, I cannot read.
All right. Keep trying.
Okay. Lily.
Number 3, on all other nights.
Okay.
Do you want to point to?
I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah.
Okay, we need another volunteer.
Amelia, would you like to try? Nope. All right.
Maybe I'll read number
Okay,
3. I
so
feel
Rachel will
kid
channel
at
her inner
heart.
child.
On all other nights, we dip one food in another, but tonight we must dip twice. First, we dip karpas in salt water, and then we dip maror in charoset.
And on all other nights, we sit straight in our chairs. Do we have another volunteer?
No, you're good.
Okay. But tonight, we lean to one side. Okay, and can we get some adult volunteers to answer these questions on page 11?
I'm going to bring the microphone to
All right,
you.
Ron's going to start us
It's
off.
time for me to move around.
Answering the 4 questions, page 11.
Oh, Ron's going to start. I'll bring it to you next, Ezra. Don't worry. Here you go. Start us off strong.
Matzah is made with carefully prepared flour mixed with water. It has no yeast and is baked flat until crispy and brown. Eating matzah reminds us that when our people were escaping to freedom, they did not have the time to let the bread rise prior to baking.
I'll just read the, why are we? Ahem. Maror, I hope I said that right, is the bitter herb on our Seder plate. Maror reminds us that the Egyptians made the lives of our ancestors bitter when they were slaves. Each year at the Seder table, we imagine ourselves leaving Egypt.
Thank you.
We dip greens in salt water to remind us of the tears of our people cried. We mix the maror and the haraset to remind us that the Jewish slaves worked very hard in Egypt. When we combine something bitter and sweet, we remember that even when people are sad, there is always hope for a happier time.
Thank you. Okay, I'm coming, Sarah. I'll come. Don't worry. Everyone's going to have a chance. I love it.
Long ago, free people could lean on a pillow during meals to relax and be comfortable while enslaved people served them food. We lean on a pillow to remind us that once we were slaves, but now we are free.
Thank you. Okay, I saw hands over here. I thought I saw hands. A lot of you wanted to read earlier. What happened? Okay, thanks.
So we continue on page 12. We have the 4 children. Henry, do you want to be the wise child?
Oh, I thought we were still doing another one.
Well, you get to be the wise child now.
Oh, okay.
Wise guy. Wise guy.
The wild child says, the wise child, not
We
wise.
know which one you are, Henry.
All right. The wise child says, I want to know the meaning of all these rules. This child is proud to be Jewish and is interested in sharing experiences that are important to Jews. We answer this child by teaching all the rules of Passover. We talk with this child about the nature of freedom and justice and about the need to make the world a better place.
Anyone feeling wicked tonight? Wicked child? John?
I got your wicked right here.
Wicked and wild.
The wicked child says, what does this Seder mean to you? By stating to you, this child implies that he has no feeling of belonging to the Jewish people. To this child we say, join us tonight, be fully here, and listen closely. Be with us. Let us celebrate the Seder together.
Okay. And simple child, do we have a volunteer at the green table?
Oh.
When the simple child questions, "What is this night all about?" we say, "We are remembering a long time ago in another land when we were forced to work for other people as slaves. With a mighty arm, God made us a free people, and we must celebrate our freedom." Growing older, learning about our people, and observing the Seder, this child will come to love Passover and to appreciate its beauty and its message.
And next child.
With a child who does not think to question, we must take the initiative with patience and tenderness. We say this wondrous evening happens in the spring of each year, so we may remember that of death, sorrow, and slavery came life, joy, and freedom.
Very good. There's some tough words in that passage. All right, so now we need 2 volunteers if possible. We have our last improv game so we can get closer to dinner. This game, and if you've seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, you have lines in your pocket and you act out a skit, but every once in a while you don't get to decide your own lines. You have to pull a line out and read it and somehow work it naturally into the skit. So anyone who wants to try it, if not, Rachel and I will do. Anyone who hasn't volunteered before?
Looks like it's going to be us.
All right, so we'll do it.
It's going to be us.
Okay. So I need a suggestion from our audience.
Yes.
What is a place that would be a terrible location for a first date? The Red Sea? Okay. So we are going to do a job interview meeting at the Red Sea. If you want to put those in your pocket.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
No pocket. That's right. My dress has pockets.
All right. So we'll just stand here and try not to fall off the stairs. All right. So thank you for coming in today. I hear that you are interested in our position of parting the Red Sea. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and why you're qualified for this position?
Well, I'm a very strong person, so I really know how to see them and part them when I need to. And with all of my qualities of strength as a human being, the Red Sea's got nothing on me.
I've heard that from a few candidates before, but I also want to tell you that my father bought a goat for 2 zuzim.
Oh, sure. Very on brand.
And we're very concerned about budgets here in our sea parting operation. Do you think you could pull this off for under 2 zuzim?
Well, why is this night different from all other nights? Am I right? Like, it's always 2 zuzim. So we'd have to really look deep into the budget and see what we could find for this job.
So
specifically.
Well, so far, I'm hearing a lot of great qualifications and ideas. Right now, we're doing this here at the Red Sea, but I'm thinking next year in Jerusalem.
Yeah, next year in Jerusalem. Well, it depends on, the destination and location, but one thing that's really on my mind right now is how would one really know if matzah has gone stale? I've been asking for a friend. It's just on my mind right now,
Yeah, that's true. We have had some matzah in the break room for a few centuries, and I think it's pretty much the same as when it was first baked.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been wondering.
Yeah,
I've heard about the matzah game at this game specific job. Woo, it's a hard one. But you know what I have heard?
What about our company?
About the company and the Red Sea, that the more salt you add, the more it tastes like our ancestors. So it's a salty sea, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Dead Sea. That's my bad.
Yeah. So if you were to have like some kind of Instagram logo for our new project here at the Red Sea, do you think you could work in the text, "Let my people go," with a little flair?
Sure, I could add some flair, some flames, some fun. That's what we're all about at your company that I'm trying to get a job. But you know what? It would have been enough for us, honestly.
That's true. We might not need the Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling really good about this interview. The last guy, I was thinking, this matzo ball is a bit dense, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. You know what I was thinking? Oy vey, I'm so ready for my 4th glass of wine.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Especially for a dense matzo ball. Ooh.
Well, I think I want to offer you the position. And then it may be time to celebrate our freedom. So,
well, this has been plaguing me for ages, so let's celebrate.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You can tell we rehearsed that.
Okay. So now let's tell the story of Passover. We're on page 13, and we're just going to have a microphone pass around. So again, the quicker we read and share the story, the quicker we can enjoy our festive meal together. Is that thunder?
Yes, it's thunder.
All right, so we've got some dramatic plague setting. It's a very high budget. We paid more than 2 zuzim for that.
Okay. Is there a table that wants to start reading? Oh, okay, great.
Throughout Jewish history, angry, frightened, and cruel people have wanted to hurt us, but God has given us patience, strength, pride, and hope. It is important to remember and retell the story of how God has helped our people survive. This Passover Seder is our special way to relive a time when our people were slaves over 3,000 years ago. With God's help, our people became free.
And we had a hand back there. Next paragraph.
The Torah tells us that our ancestor Jacob moved with his family from Canaan to the land of Egypt in order to find a better supply of food. In those days, our ancestors were a small group of people called the people of Israel.
Jacob's son Joseph worked for the Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt. Joseph's wisdom and skill helped all the people of Egypt. Joseph became an important and respected man. It was the best of times, and the people of Israel grew in number and were happy.
Years passed. A new Pharaoh, who did not know about Joseph's good deeds, came to power. He was afraid of the large number of people of Israel in his country and was afraid that they would turn against him. The new Pharaoh ordered that the people of Israel become slaves. They were forced to work day and night to make bricks and build cities. It was a terrible time.
Paragraphs?
God heard the cries and prayers of the people of Israel and remembered a covenant with Abraham. God called Moses to appear before Pharaoh and demand that the people of Israel be freed. "Let my people go." But Pharaoh was stubborn and would not heed the word of God. So God brought us out of Egypt by a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and awesome power.
Finally, after many terrible plagues, Pharaoh was convinced that the people of Israel had to be freed from slavery, and he allowed them to leave Egypt. But soon after they left, Pharaoh changed his mind. The Egyptian armies were behind the people of Israel, and a great sea was in front of them. But with God's help, the sea parted, and our people passed through on dry land to freedom.
Excellent. So now we're going to turn to page 2 on our supplementary sheet for our response to modern social plagues. And if you need to add a little wine to your glass, if you emptied it earlier, please add some more wine. So we're going to take our pinkies and dip some of the wine. This is a symbol of removing our joy, because even though we're glad to be free, we're not glad about what happened to the Egyptians with the 10 plagues. So we'll dip our pinkies and read the italicized text. Dam, blood. We mourn those whose blood has been spilled. Tzfardea, frogs. We protest the proliferation of violence. Kinim, lice. We will work to stop the infestations of hatred and fear. Arov, wild beasts. We appeal to all people to act with humanity. Dever, disease. We will overcome the sickness of racism and bigotry. Shechin, boils. We will comfort and take care of those who suffer from disease. Barad, hail. We will respond to storms and natural disasters that claim lives. Arbe, locust. We will fill the air with voices for change. Choshech, darkness. We will bring light to those who live in the shadows. Makat bechorot, slaying of the firstborn, we will inspire the next generation to carry on the struggle for a better world. And now we continue on page 16 in our Haggadah with the song we began with, Dayenu. And feel free to clap along. Ilu hotzi anu mi mitzrayim dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et Shabbat, natan lanu et Shabbat, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan lanu et Torah, natan lanu et Torah, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Had God done any one of these miracles, it would have been enough for us. We continue on page 17. Bechol dor vador chayav adam lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa mimitzrayim. In every generation, each of us must see ourselves as if we personally had come out of Egypt. So now we have our second glass of wine, slightly diminished by the 10 plagues. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And now we are getting closer to the meal. If you can find some matzah at your table, make sure everyone has a piece. We'll say 2 blessings for the matzah, regular hamotzi, which we would do over any bread, then the blessing for matzah during Passover. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. If you can find the bitter herbs at your table, we'll say the blessing for that. You don't have to eat it right away. You can make a Hillel sandwich with a little matzah, charosa, and bitter herbs, so you're not just spooning horseradish straight into your mouth. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. Now you can make your Hillel sandwich.
On page 18.
And after you have your Hillel sandwich, we'll start with anyone with food allergies. Go first to get your food, and then anyone with small children who might need a little more time to grab food, go next, and then we'll dismiss table by table. So if you'd like to get your food, if you have any food allergies, I invite you to get started now. And also families with small children.
For those of you who still have your afikomen at your table, this is a great time to go hide them if you haven't had a chance yet. We want to make sure there's lots of different afikomen for the children to find. So go and find the afikomen. I mean hide, don't find them yet. Go hide your afikomens. And children, keep eating.
Usually Rockwood.
Have you seen the new one near
Johnson
you're not
Valley?
right across
I
from
haven't been
Netsville's?
there yet.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So, it's more a question of finding where like your people are to play. Because that's like
That's the key.
The biggest thing about pickleball is playing against people of similar skill level.
Yeah.
Too good, too bad.
Yeah, I feel like we just started playing pickleball when we ran into your wife, and
She's
that was a
good.
mistake.
I don't even play with my wife.
Yeah, I understand.
Not just because I wish to remain married, but because she's really good.
Yeah, she is not to be messed with.
They have levels of play, and
What's her level?
What's hers or mine?
Hers and yours.
She's gotta be getting close to a 5-0.
Wow.
Me, I'm happy to be at 3-5 on a good day, 3-0 most days. I could probably play with you guys without your mom.
One day we'll do an order meet.
I feel so bad I even asked her to play.
I mean, I can tell, but
She came home, she's like, I think I played with the rabbi and her wife. I'm like, okay, yeah. You probably did.
yeah,
You probably did. It was
trust
probably
us. Yeah.
Yeah, she can, if she wants to, she'll just turn it into a backboard and like everything just comes back. Wow. Like I've only ever played one game with her. We were drilling.
Yeah.
And two guys walked up. Well, this was the courts at Randolph, right near the Downtown Expressway, right near the toll booth. And we were playing. Two guys walking up, playing. I'm like, okay, I gotta play. And can't lose, can we? No. Okay, got it.
No pressure. Yeah.
But it's a fun sport. It's
very fun.
I'm also glad I don't live right next to a court.
Oh, I'm sure that would be very irritating.
But Rockwood is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones are good. Rockwood's my favorite for just the rotations. Like people
Yeah,
rotate and all
they're
that.
very good. Like, put your paddle up.
You paddle up and go.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to?
All right, I'm gonna go. Now that I did not leave my office, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
If you're sitting at a pink table, go get food. My pink tables, the color pink.
Not the most known Jew in the world, but I love to learn. I was curious when we were going over the social plagues. I know the 10 plagues and what they did to Egypt and everything.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is this something that comes from like the Haggadah, or is this more like coming from you specifically?
I didn't write that one, but it's more like a lot of people try to do themes and contemporary things, like when
Modernize.
modernize. Like when Jews were like being like held captive in the Soviet Union, a lot of the supplements would be about like freeing the Jews today from there. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and
So
like
this is
when
a
Black
very-
Lives Matter was like a big thing, you have more racism readings.
About
Yeah.
that. So this is a normal thing Jews have been doing for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to better understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, there's some people who like things very traditional, so we keep the traditional Hebrew and literal translation. And then there's some people who are like, it's such an ancient tradition, it's hard to relate to. So we try to mix the two. Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. And by the way, you two killed it on the impression.
Oh, thank you.
Killed it. It almost inspired me to come up, seriously.
Oh, good. Well, we got one more competition later. Yeah. Well, don't have to be completely here. Do you think I should go get my salmon?
Yellow tables can go grab food if you're at a yellow colored table. Orange table. Orange table. Go get food if you're sitting at an orange table. Green table. Green tables. Purple table. Blue tables. Blue, Linda, blue. I know you wanted to be called last. Also, once everyone has gone through, we'll do a round of seconds, but until then, just hang out at your table.
All right, kids, it's time to find the afikomen. So if you remember, it's a piece of matzah that we broke off earlier, hidden in a napkin. Might be anywhere in this room. If you can find an afikomen, you'll get a prize. Most prizes will be chocolate, but if you're allergic to anything in this chocolate bar, I have a different prize for you. All right? So see if you can find an afikomen. It's matzah in a napkin. And if you found it, bring your afikomen up here. Anyone else have a afikomen? So matzah in a napkin, afikomen. And if you've already found one, you can help another kid find one too. Do you want to talk? You're welcome. Happy Passover. Are there